Hey guys, today we're starting on the achievements for Tomb Raider 3. We're going to be getting 3 and they are all in Lara's home. I'm going to try and cover these in an order that makes sense because you start in Lara's bedroom. So from there, the closest place would be across the hallway into this TV room and then through into the library. We will be getting the quad bike keys first. In the library room, you can see on the right hand shelf that there is a book sticking out. If you interact with that, that will turn the fire off in the fireplace over here. On the left wall, you can jump and climb up into an alcove that is above the fireplace. This leads through to a small room with a lever and some boxes. If you want, you can move the lower box and underneath it you will find some flares, but moving it isn't actually necessary. The box in that doorway leads through to the attic. You want to push it forward once so that you can go around it into the next room. The lever on the right wall opens the timed door downstairs in Lara's house. It's the same place where her treasure room was in the previous game. The timer isn't insanely fast, but it's always good to make sure that you move around as quickly as you can when you're up against a timed sequence. Once you've pulled the lever, you want to run through the room where you've just moved the box into the attic, down the stairs, and out onto the landing. I screwed up my movement here because just that seems typical for me, but you can jump over the banister. Even going around and bouncing off of things, I still managed to jump down and get through the door with time to spare, even if it wasn't a lot. Lighting a flare is probably your best way to see around down here, but the treasure room has essentially been replaced with an aquarium. We need to climb into the water to get the randomly placed key. So you want to move this box once backwards and then push it further into the room once. This will put it directly below an opening in the roof. Then it's just a case of climbing into the opening and jumping into the water, swimming to the far side of the tank and picking up the quad bike keys. But we're not going to unlock the quad bike course yet. If you do want to get to that section, there will be timestamps so that you can skip forward for the achievement you need. But the next thing we're going to do is to find Lara's new treasure room. If you were to head right from this little door, you'll find that Lara has again built a training room in here. We want to head through there into the pool, and on the back of the diving board, you will find a button. This is another timed switch for an alcove near the front door. I don't know why Lara has such an obsession with timing her levers and buttons in her house, but whatever. Once you get to the alcove, the door will then stay open. Now is the difficult part, especially if Winston keeps getting in your goddamn way. The game wants you to use the sprinting mechanic that it has added, which can be a bit finicky. The amount of times I've gotten myself trapped in that door from trying to roll through it and having it not work is insane. But once you finally get through, you'll notice some little Easter eggs like the Skion, the Dagger Jean, and the Iris, which is also a little spoiler. I hate this ramp. It is broken. No matter what you do, you'll get caught on it and have to kind of move jankily to get yourself up. Holding down the A button to boost seems to help a lot, but you will be wheeling yourself up that ramp. That's the only section that really needs explaining, and it happens here in the underground area. You need to make sure that you get around here and over this jump without hitting the wall to have the correct speed. Then immediately go as left as you can and hold down A to boost. But once you get through it, it spits you out right at the finish line. There were a couple of times where I completed this just to know that I was 1 or 2 seconds off, and if it wasn't for that stupid ramp, I'd have been fine. So, and finally, we are back at the assault course again. Much the same as it was in Tomb Raider 2, with a few new added sections for the new mechanics in this game. Most of what I said before still stands, with a couple of exceptions. At this part here, it's faster to swan dive into the water than it is to slide and jump. This course has a shooting section, so before you start it, I would recommend going and picking up the guns so that you don't have to grab them as you're doing the course. Much like with the bridge on Tomb Raider 2, you can just jump across straight into the water and completely dodge the monkey bars section. Instead of completely failing you and having to start again if you miss an obstacle or land on the sand between obstacles, you now just get an 8-second penalty per incident. And with the shooting range, you get a 5-second penalty for every target that you do not hit. I specify this because I have never completed the course with no penalties. It is pretty easy to still get under 2 minutes and 20 seconds with penalties. So it's not that difficult to do. To be fair, I got 2 minutes 20.26, and I thought that was too much. I thought I hadn't got the achievement, but then it popped, so I guess that it is okay. Either way, I think all the practice from trying this out on Tomb Raider 2 has actually really helped, because it took me a lot less time to finally get it this time around. So if you have gotten the achievement in Tomb Raider 2, hopefully this should be easier. If not, and this is the first one you're going for, then you probably will have to practice quite a bit, but just know that you will get there.
Gosh, that was fast. But I'm sure you can do better.